Hi there, my name's Tom Gerrard. I'm an artist from Melbourne, and I'm going to take you on a tour of the gallery on Barry. A couple of passionate art collectors of mine have opened up this Airbnb, and yeah, it's got lots of my work in here. I'm going to show you around. First, we've got this mural, which is in part of the interior, and I've done a decal for the door, and also hand painted all the elements in here, and I wanted it to feel homely, feel like a home through my lens, I guess. Got some hanging plants here, and also a window, and bricks have appeared a lot in my work through the years. I used to paint like brick walls and stuff with graffiti and stuff, and then like the brick walls actually found their way into my artwork. Everything's done with like acrylic spray paint and airbrush as well, the thin black lines. And if you come through here, this is great. This is see-through. This is an old piece of mine from 2020. It's a hard rubbish scene. It was something I saw near my old studio in Caulfield. Hard rubbish day would happen, and yeah, I think this was an accumulation of, I think, multiple houses, but it just took over the whole intersection. I did this before I was working exclusively with the airbrush, and it was all done, all the black lines are done with a paintbrush in hand, which isn't something I really do anymore. But yeah, a lot of work went into this, and yeah, real happy. It's I see there's a lot of pieces in here that are part of my private collection that just mean a lot to me, and I've kept over the years. The time when I made this, my studio was above a woodwork factory, and yeah, I learned how to work with wood and use all the tools and gluing and all the techniques used to make furniture, and I put all that into this piece, and yeah, I really like it. It was, I hand painted all the slats and then ran some cord through there like you would with a normal, Venetian blind, be able to tie it up. So it's like a first exploration into like sculptural artwork for me. I like to use everything that's in the studio. This was an off-cut of canvas from painting a larger one. When we were working on this, on filling this house with art, this was just rolled up in my studio. I thought, this is a perfect wall for this piece, and got it stretched and framed, and yeah, really happy with its home here. This floor of the building is really themed around nature. I guess is the main theme of this area. And here we have two paintings, one here and one there, which I created when I was living up in the Northern Rivers in New South Wales. And this one was all about like nature and its expanse, but then like humans sort of separating areas off and saying this is mine, whereas like these trees are all existing together, but someone's gone and threaded them with a fence to sort of say this is my area, that's your area, and then like a little play with the wire fence and a bit of like a bit of a crossing for animals, I guess, and saying that it's free for everyone. The similar theme is in here as well, to say sort of this is like a fenced off area, but then with the fence broken, it gains access to the whole space. Out in nature, you find a lot of that with fenced off areas, and you can go here but you can't go there. In the city it's very built up and like that, but in nature, I don't know, I really like that about, like, say the UK, you're allowed to wander anywhere and on anyone's property. I think it's really cool. Not so awesome for the people who own the property. They might not want it, but and above the bed here we've got a diptych, two works on paper, which is I guess they're botanical studies. I see them all. I try to paint every like leaf and like flower, I guess, as an individual. I want the personality to come through. So yeah, there's 9 here, but I like the idea that they've all got their own personality. This is part of a series I did back in 2023. Yeah, I really like working with lino printing. It's something I discovered in high school. It was part of a art class. Everyone had to make lino prints, and it's something I learned. And when I thought about making prints early in my art career, I never thought to go to a printer or do screen printing or anything. To me, printing, the obvious answer was to make lino prints, and I still continue to do them in my work till this day. During this era, around 2023, like 21 to 23, I would like walk down this path at Brunswick Heads in northern New South Wales. And yeah, I walk there every morning, and it just means a lot to me. There's another painting out here that is of the same scene. This is called Surfer's Promise, and that is of exactly the same path as the lino print that I was just showing you. At the time I painted this, I was learning to surf and getting right into it, and I really like that moment of anticipation, just as you're approaching the water and you can't quite see what the waves are doing yet, and it's that whole like, oh, what's it going to be like? What am I in for here? Because you know, with nature and especially with the ocean, like every day is different, and you never know what you're going to get. And just because it was a certain way one day, it doesn't mean that that's going to be the case the next day. And it's all about that anticipation of what's it going to be like. This is part of my private collection, and yeah, I'm happy to have it hanging in here and so people can see it, so it's not just bubble wrapped in my studio. But yeah, this painting is this was like a little study. Once again, this was a little offcut of canvas that I had, and I had it stapled to the wall in my studio, and I was using, you know, spray paint and paint brushes and stuff, and this is where I'd test the paint. So even with the green, before you use spray paint, you need to spray it a few times to get it going, and I'd do that, and then I'd test it on here, and then I'd go off and use it on the painting that I'd be working on. But over time, this painting just sort of emerged out of all of that, and also with my brushes, like having a little bit of paint left over and just sort of cleaning them on the canvas, and it just, yeah, I didn't slave over this painting at all, but I absolutely love it, and it just flowed out of me. And a lot of my artwork is made in that way. I work on lots of pieces at the same time, and I'll have intention for one painting, but then I'll walk around the studio and say, who else needs a bit of this color that I got in my hand? And this painting was made entirely in that way. I think it's those that authentic way of making art. It just sort of produces itself. There's no overthinking things. The complete contrast is this painting, because I put a lot of thought into this. I made the panels with the furniture maker who was downstairs from my previous studio. They're boxed out, so they're hollow in the middle, but they've got a frame around them. I did 6 of these houses, and yeah, I think this is my favourite one from the series. It's they all had different characteristics and different themes. This one was made, I just like these brick walls, you know, the stacked brick, and I wanted to do a house based off, you know, sort of different odd-shaped rocks all piled together. And it's sort of a similar architecture to what I saw like the Incas doing and everything, but there's a not so perfect way of doing it that the Westerners have done, and this is based off that. But also backyard cricket, I wanted to have that in there as well. I'm a twin, and I grew up playing a lot of cricket with my brother in the backyard. We always had a batter and a bowler. These were just some studies I was working on. They were like lots of the works on paper, the smaller works, are usually made when I'm thinking about other artworks. And they're sort of test paintings, but quite often the test paintings are better than the large paintings. But with these 3, none of them turned into larger paintings. They all just became elements within other paintings. So it was just more working out how things would stack together, and also color palettes as well. They're all very unique in their own right, but but every element has been featured in another painting somewhere along the way. The exhibition that this print was featured in, as we were taking down the exhibition, it was the first time I heard about COVID-19. So it was about that era. It was for an exhibition that Martha Cooper, the famous photographer, she's a famous New York-based photographer who documented graffiti a lot in the 80s. She was coming to Melbourne, and they wanted some artwork to be part of a talk that she was doing. And this was a painting of me just thinking back to my years painting graffiti as a youth. And it's set in a train yard in Ringwood in Melbourne, where I actually painted. And there's a hole in the fence there, and the hole sort of resembles like opportunity to get in, but also an escape plan to get out. Making an artwork in this way, like actually going into a train yard and painting a train, is a very interesting way to create. It's you're at a lot of risk. You've got time constraints. You're in a cage, and you're yeah. If you get caught, you're in a lot of trouble. So yeah, it's just sort of thinking back to taking risks in life as a youth, and you know, I ended up getting in a lot of trouble for this stuff not long after that scene was done, but I don't really regret any of it because it's you know, it's what an exciting way to create art. So this is a series of prints I've been working on, and I wanted to represent a sunset. So this is like dusk, and just as the sun's starting to come up on the horizon, and then the colours start to change as the sun starts rising a bit more, and then here again, and then as you climb up the stairs, the sun rises right up, and you end up mid-morning or midday. And as you walk down, the sun sets again. So it's sort of a play on the stairwell and yeah, the sun rising and setting as you go up and down. And it was a real fun series to work on. This is like the living and dining area. This painting here, I painted this back in 2017. At the time, working out of David Bromley's studio, just here on Chapel Street. And he presented me with a few large canvases and just said, paint them like you're painting on the street. And that's exactly what I did. I did most of it with spray paint all through the background, and then just some house paint, white house paint and black house paint to paint the rest of the faces. It's good to see it again. I painted it in 2017, and the day after I painted it, I haven't seen it until just recently. So it's really good to be reunited with this. And yeah, it's I guess it's a great representation of that time of my art. Here, this is another thing that was made similar to the house down in the bedroom, in the second bedroom. It's all boxed out, but and I made it with the furniture makers downstairs from my old studio, Fallon Frames. Look them up; they're really good. You know, I do a lot of works on paper in the studio, and this one was a series I did all with spray paint and airbrush, and yeah, I just really like working with spray paint. I feel there's things you can do with it that you just can't replicate in any other way. The fading colours in this way, it's yeah, it's just so much fun and I love it. This was done back in 2021, and it was I did this painting off the back of an exhibition where I've been working really hard on the exhibition, and I find that after every time I work on a big exhibition and I'm locked in on a concept and I'm rolling it out over like a year's period, I get to the other side of it and I say, I just want to just like let all my creativity just pour out of me. And I did a series of paintings. I did 3 of them, and this is one of them here. And yeah, really happy with how it came out. Like the bottom's painted blue. I wanted it to represent like ocean. And so the bottom's painted blue, but the top is all raw linen shining through. And yeah, this is another one of those paintings. I just didn't think. I didn't put any thought into it. I just let the creativity pour out of me, and yeah, I find I get a lot of good results doing that. This is one that I did a project at Federation Square in Melbourne, and this I animated this artwork, and it was projected on the large screens at Federation Square, which was a real honour. It was really cool to see. A bodega lino print. I cut this print when I was living in Barcelona. And yeah, it was based off a local bodega next door to my house. This is an original artwork on paper. This is part of a pot plant series I did just recently in 2025. It was a few years ago I did this now, I'd say probably 2019. And it's based off one of those, you know when you go to the barber shop and it's got all the different hairstyles? Like that's what this is meant to represent, sort of one of those posters with all the different hairstyles. I'd like to know who's got the original to that. I know someone I know has it. And here we have Barry, who's I guess he's the mascot of the gallery on Barry. And yeah, I originally used this head for the tote bags for this Airbnb, and then I created paste ups of it as well, and stickers and merch, and it's become sort of I guess the logo for this place, but also my personal logo for my art over you know, currently, and look forward to putting it out there a lot more. This is a series of ceramics I made. His name's George, and yeah, I had a studio up in northern New South Wales, and my next door neighbour was a ceramic studio. And while I was with them, they taught me how to work with clay and start doing ceramics. And yeah, I made a slip cast mould and started producing these ceramic heads. And yeah, I'm really happy with them. It's great to see it in here. I found that a lot of art collectors who had bought a lot of my art, but bought a lot of other people's art, so they start running out of walls. And I thought, you know what, I want something for the shelves, because you know, there's more than just wall space out there, you know. So yeah, that completes the tour to date. Anyway, this place I'm sure is going to continue to change and evolve over years. Yeah, I hope you have enjoyed it.